Hey guys, this is Bad Luck Garage, another Steppenwolf update. This is the Intellitronix digital dash. I'm having to take back apart and redo. Just wanted to kind of lead off by showing you why I'm taking it apart. First off, I just want to note, when I first installed these, they were working fine. After about a week, the turn signals got to where, you know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And what I mean by that is, they work on the truck, okay? Like if I turn the turn signal on, go outside, the blinkers are working. Where it's not working is, you know, the indicators on the gauges. It's like the circuits just burn up, something like that. The second thing, well, I've had issues with the oil pressure from the get-go. But the second thing, and the thing that ultimately led me to just say to heck with it and send them back, or not send them back, I requested them to send me a set first, which took over 2 months to get here. But what happened is, when I turned the headlights on, watch my speedometer when I turn the headlights on. Yeah. So this is what happens when I turn my headlights on, guys. Speedometer goes completely out. Sometimes it resets like, okay, look what it just did. See, I don't know if you can see this or not, but because my camera doesn't seem to be focusing well, but just a second ago, my odometer said 177 miles, and I turned the headlights on, the speedometer goes completely off, and it now says 153 miles. Let's turn it on again and see what happens. Okay, well, it's still showing 153 miles, but yeah. So anyway, you know, that's part of the problem too. Like I said, I've had nothing but trouble with these gauges since I got them. The oil pressure sending unit they sent me didn't work. It just showed a constant 99 when I hooked it in. So that was my first issue. So I asked them to send me another sending unit for the oil pressure gauge. The second one they sent me did the same thing, just 99. So what I ended up doing was just using a factory GM sending unit. And it works, but it's not right. It actually ends up showing the temperature being, the oil pressure being about 20 pounds higher than it is. So, and I've confirmed this with a manual oil pressure gauge. So anyway, you know, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm about to take all this apart, and you know, I've got my new set that I finally got back. Or that they finally sent me after months of emails and phone calls. So I'm about to take, you know, this set out, put the new set in, and we'll see what happens. Taking all these screws out. Yeah, it sucks that I have to do this yet again, but I guess that's the price I pay for buying cheap gauges. One day when I get the money, I'll probably just do an odometer analog gauge setup. You know, some kind of custom jobby. Is that all of them? Well, that's all of them I have. pull this out. I'm not real worried about breaking this stuff because honestly, I need a new dash panel anyway, but I mean, I don't want to break it, but yeah, I do need a new dash panel. There we go. Dash panel's out of the way. Now, I've just got to take all these jobbies here out, which that is not a screwdriver. Okay, so you just need a 1/4 inch drive, socket, nut driver, whatever, for these guys here. And it's important to remember at this stage, you don't have to take all this apart. You just got to take out the screws that are actually holding it to the dash. So let's see, which apparently I missed one. Oh yeah, right up here. That one was hiding from me. You can tell this dash used to be tan. I'll tell you what, guys. This truck started life. I don't know if I've ever said it on my YouTube channel, but this truck actually started life as a, well, it didn't start life, but started life with me as a parts truck. My uncle had bought a '76 step side, and this was actually a fleet side truck originally. So the fleet side bed, now why am I not able to get this out of here? I don't remember ever having this much trouble getting this out before. So the fleet side bed off this vehicle, this truck, ended up, oh yeah, I had to lift the dash up a little bit. It ended up on his '76, and then so did the door panels and, you know, a few other things. And then this truck ended up with the step side bed. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time here, guys. I have never had this hard a time getting this this out of here. Oh, duh. Okay, sometimes it takes more finesse. Finesse is not my thing, people. Anyway, so you know, so his '76 started off as a '76 step side, and it ended up with the fleet side bed and all the 1974 interior out of this truck. He liked the '74 interior better, so then naturally this truck ended up with all the '76 model door panels and everything, which is, I mean, you can clearly see this has got '76 model door panels. All right, let me just show you what I've got here. What I did is I chose to just, you know, connect everything together with these weather-tight connectors. Now, herein lies the problem, guys. We're on a budget here, and honestly, I don't care in what condition this cluster goes back. So what I'm going to do, so I don't have to look at diagrams and try to figure out where everything goes again, I'm actually just going to cut all these wires off back here, because these connectors, I know y'all are thinking, oh wow, little Troy, those are just you know, like you can get a whole pack of those for like $4 or $5 at the auto store. And yes, you can, but guess what? I don't have. $4 or $5 to spend on connectors. But what I do have in the garage there, now I've got some of the cheap connectors I could use, but I like these because they're weather tight. Even though they're inside, I still like that they're weather tight, so that's, you know, why I want to reuse these. So what I do have is a solder iron and a bunch of heat shrink tubing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these wires off way back here and just solder them onto the replacement board that they sent me, the replacement gauges that they sent me. That way I don't have to buy new connectors. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a list of, you know, what color wire goes to what wire. And I'm going to go ahead and, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call these out for you in case, you know, for some reason you did not heed my warning and you decided to buy freaking Intellitronix gauges anyway, you know, because you want to be as big of a dumbass as I was. So anyway, I'm going to call these out for you. Now again, this is on a 74, and I think anything from the wiring should be the same on anything from 73 through probably 78 maybe. But this isn't gospel now, guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out the color of the wires and what of the gauges and what color wire they go to on your factory dash harness, okay, as I'm unplugging them. Alright, so the first one, blue on the cluster, goes to, you know what, we're not going to do that because I just thought, some of these I actually brought in from the outside myself. Like this green wire here, this actually goes to my temperature sensor, I think, my that I wired myself. This is not a factory wiring harness wire. So you know what, scratch everything I just told you, because if you wire it up like I did, it's probably not going to work out for you too well. Sorry about that, guys. I was hoping I could help you out, but anyway, I am going to write down the wires that I have plugged into what wires, because it's going to be specific to my harness. But I'll tell you what, in the description of this video, I will try to post a link to, if you go to Dakota Digital's website, they actually have like a really easy to use chart that tells you the color of the wires in your factory harness, and you know what that goes to on a digital dash, or on their digital dash. But it also, you know, it coincides with everything on this digital dash too. So sorry about that, guys. I wish I could have helped you more on that, but you know, I forgot that I had added things. Yeah, again, I'm sorry about that, but well, nothing I can do about it now, because I did a lot of custom wiring in here. That was something else about this truck. When I first got this truck, the wiring was just, it was like a freaking rat nest under this dash. They had added all kinds of switches and buttons for stuff that it just, you know, what was never intended to be in here. So I actually spent a whole week. I had this thing in the garage, and I just pulled everything apart. Now it's still the factory wiring harness, but I pieced some stuff together, soldered some stuff, and eventually I'm going to put an all new wiring harness in this, but that's not going to happen until I take everything apart to paint. So that's way down the road. But anyway, I just wanted to explain to you why, you know, a lot of these wires here are not from my actual harness, so the colors aren't gonna line up, so I can't help you guys with that, other than to tell you that I will try to post a link on this video at the bottom to the Dakota Digital website, where it has you know, the diagrams for all the C10s, and it's real easy. I mean, it literally says, you know, light blue wire, I don't know what it goes to, but, you know, just as an example, it'll say like light blue wire to high beam, and, you know, green wire to temperature gauge. I mean, it's that easy, the diagrams they have, and you know, there's a separate one for every year. It's not even a diagram, it just says the color and says what it goes to, so it's, you know, it's a lot easier than reading a diagram. But I'm going to go ahead and mark all these wires, you know, for me personally, and be back in a second.